Renal Center of the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, which provides dialysis treatment to persons suffering from malfunctioning kidneys, is once again in the news for the wrong reason. The center has been closed down for days, according to reports, leaving renal patients stranded. This is the second time in less than a year that the center has been shut down. In 2023, the center was closed down for days, leading to the death of at least 18 people, according to reports. 3 people have lost their lives. As part of GhanaWeb's organ donation campaign, we'll be interviewing some of the patients from the Renal Center of the hospital to find out exactly what is going on. You're welcome to GhanaWeb TV.
Thank you.
So before we get into the questions, kindly introduce yourself, starting from Madam Deborah.
My name is Deborah Naughty. I'm the Vice President for the Kidney Patients Association, Korle Bu Chapter, Ghana.
Okay. My name is Raphael, a chronic patient from Korle Bu.
My name is also Michael Asantinyanko. I'm also a patient from Korle Bu Renal Dialysis Unit.
Okay. So we'll start with Madam Deborah. So what exactly is going on? What's happening?
As usual, we have our schedules for dialysis. Most of us go 2 times in a week or 3 times in a week. On that fateful morning, a Friday morning, some of our members were ready to go for dialysis. They waited for their call. As usual, they call us to come for dialysis based on your schedule. They waited and waited in vain, no calls. So we started calling the unit to find out what the issues were. But we didn't get any reliable information. All they keep telling us is they'll call us back. But from our own findings, we found out that the unit is run out of consumables. And we've been trying so hard to get some explanations from management, but that wasn't forthcoming until some few days back that there was a press statement that actually the consumables have been run out. They've imported for some, and they assured us in the press statement that the consumables have arrived at the port. So now they are engaging the GRE and other stakeholders to help facilitate the clearance so that they can resume work.
You mentioned Friday. Is it just this past Friday?
No, but 2 weeks now.
2 weeks.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks Friday.
Oh, okay.
Since then, the unit has been shut to OPD patients.
Okay, but those who are being hospitalized are still there?
The emergency people are here are being attended to. Those on the admissions in critical conditions.
Okay, so aside the shortage of the consumables, did the government give any reason?
No, we've not had any substantial reason. Like I said, we found in the press statement that the consumables have arrived at the port and they are working so hard to clear to resume operations at the unit.
Okay. So how are you coping with this? Are you seeking care somewhere else, or you haven't gotten treatment since the closure of the center?
We are seeking care somewhere else, but the question is, are we getting adequate care elsewhere? Because our lives we have no choice. Our lives are dependent on dialysis as we speak at the moment. So we have no choice. We cannot wait till they resume operations. So we have to go seek treatment elsewhere. And that is where the challenge is coming in. Because going out there to private facilities poses a much bigger financial stress on us compared to what we are facing at Korle Bu at the moment. So some of our members are unable to afford their 2 times minimum treatment or 3 times treatment. So that is having a very negative impact on our life.
Raphael, what about you? Have you gotten any treatment since the shutdown of the center?
Yeah, but it's very, very difficult to get a place to dialyze, because sometimes when you call the other hospital, they will tell you the place is full. And when they tell you that, sometimes you feel like you are ending it all, because you won't be able to get a place to dialyze. Like what my sister said, our lives depend on the machine. Seriously, without machine, and you are in the house and you didn't get a place to dialyze, you will die. That one day is for sure you will die. So it's very, very difficult for us. And the way we, sometimes, some of the patients, we get it twice at Korle Bu. You won't get it at private hospital because they also have their own patients to attend to. So we find it difficult. We find it difficult.
Okay. So Michael, are you having the same challenges, right?
And the same challenges, like she said, especially with the cost involved. Usually at the private centers, the charges are very high. And I don't know if we've noticed the recent economic challenges. There were some taxes places on the consumables, so they increase their prices very high. So most of the times, those who are even able to afford it are forced to do the dialysis once in a week, which is not appropriate. Most of us are strong. That is with those who can afford it. For me, for instance, for the past 2 weeks, I have been able to dialyze only twice. It's affecting me, but I have to manage it for the moment. And like what my brother was saying, that the private centers, they also have their patients, and their machines and equipment are limited in numbers. So you don't have it like Korle Bu, where Korle Bu, I'll say they have a lot of machines and they'll be running the sessions almost 24 hours. For the private centers, they are just limited, so they just do it, let's say, within a certain time period. So if you don't meet that period, you will be forced to wait for another period, which prolongs your dialysis treatment.
Okay, so let me come back to Deborah. The closure this time around came as a shock to me because just some few weeks ago, the government announced a series of intervention for the center. What's happening? Is it that the government is not paying the monies they are supposed to pay for the center? Because some patients are supposed to get the treatment for free, those below 18 and above 60, and those within the two brackets are getting subsidized treatment. Is it that the government is not paying?
We are not adequately informed on that. But last June, we all heard the news and we were so excited, and it brought some relief to us that patients below 18 years and those above 60 years are going to get free dialysis session on the NHIS scheme. And most of us, those of us within that, outside that bracket will get twice sessions or 2 free sessions for the whole period, and we were excited. Even though most of the patients fall outside the bracket of the free dialysis, most of us are within 19 and 59 years. So we are only qualified for 2 sessions. Though that is not enough, but some way, somehow, that brought a little relief to us. At least we know our pockets can breathe for
Okay, so the
at least 2 times.
Was coming in?
It wasn't. Till date, no one. I don't know of anyone at the Korle Bu chapter who has enjoyed any free session on the NHIS scheme. No. Till the place was shut down, they've not started implementing it.
Okay. So how many people seek treatment? Are you aware of the number of patients at the Korle Bu, dialysis patients at the Korle Bu Center?
If I'm not mistaken, I think we will be about 200.
Not less than 200.
And since the closure of the center, we've had reports of deaths. Are they true?
It's sad to announce that 3 of our beautiful members are down at the moment, and some are in critical condition. And we plead that they will resume operations very soon, because we don't want any more lives to be lost. These are very young patients, less than 30 years of age, who have died needlessly. They shouldn't have died like that. If Korle Bu was to be working still, I don't think these casualties would have been reported. And we are hoping that the unit will span to full operation soon, so that we don't report any more death. Because as we sit down, none of us is sure of tomorrow.
Okay. So, Michael, Raphael, sorry. The people who have passed on, are you close to any of them?
Those
who have passed on, do you know them?
Yes, I know some of them. Some of them are at my age. And if not because of the close of the unit, I think they are still alive.
Okay. So when was the last time you went for treatment, Michael?
The last time, I think last week Monday. Last week Monday. Yeah, last week
at
Monday.
which facility?
It's a private center at Chimota. Providence.
And you've had were you able to go for your required sessions or just?
No, I did only one session for last week.
And if you don't go for a session, what are some of the
Charlie, you don't want to go through that thing. It's very bad. It affects us. You become weak, breathless, uncomfortable. You're not able to control the body. The little activities you are able to. That's with the early stages when it's indicating to you that you need to do the dialysis. Again, you become very weak. You have become breathless. You're unable to eat. Nausea, start vomiting, those stuff. That's within a week. Then after a week, if you still not done the dialysis, then things can get out of her. Then now you have to rush to the emergency center at Korle Bu for them to treat you.
This is not the first time the center has been closed down. This is the second time in less than a year. How do you personally feel when this setback comes?
I personally feel very bad. Very bad. It's not funny at all. Because over the years, some of us have been doing this dialysis for years. I've personally been on it for over 8 years. And my colleagues here too have been here. I've been on it for many years. So we've been able to strike some acquaintances or relationships. We've now formed something like family or some form of bond or friendship. So it is heartbreaking to be losing one of our members every now and then. It feels like you are losing a family member. So you be there with the patients, you just talk today and the next moment that person is gone. It's disheartening. And some of this poses a lot of challenges apart from the financial cost that it puts on us. Not having a stable place to dialyze. Today you go here, tomorrow you go there. It makes you prone to infections. And this is a blood-related treatment, so it's advisable to get a place to do where you'll be monitored than to jump from one facility to the other. And sometimes the closure puts us in a desperate condition that we have no choice than to be running from one center to the other to see where next we can get an available spot to dialyze, as our lives are at stake at that particular moment. So this closure poses a very puts us in an uncomfortable condition.
Thank you. And Michael, what do you feel when you hear any time the center has been closed down?
For me personally, I was really hurt, especially with this one. Because sometimes I feel these things are avoidable. And this time we were really hurt in the sense that they didn't even communicate to us. It's like they were treating us, I don't know the words he used, they just treated us anyhow. We tried to communicate with them, they didn't give us any information. And the parts that hurt us was one of our colleagues who were part of those who died. When we heard the story, we realized that they could have done something to help it. But this is how they responded to it. It's quite disheartening how they treat us over there, how they treat us. Because you could have avoided these situations. We had this situation last year, we came in this year, it happened, we tried to communicate and they were not responding. We really felt hurt by the way they
No, and that's not the first time this is happening. And I think, like Michael said, it's avoidable. It's all about management issues. You work with consumables, so you should know the stocks you have, how long it's going to last. You know, when you are shipping, it takes this long. So some of these things they should be proactive about it, so that we never come to a point where there will be nothing at all to work with.
Okay. So who do you think should be blamed for this shot? Who exactly should bear this blame? Is it the authorities at the hospital?
I think the immediate
issues, yeah.
No, the immediate group who should be the authorities at the hospital, the management, because they saw this coming.
If it's beyond them, they should communicate.
They should communicate to us.
Let us know what is on the ground, what is actually happening. We are not here to blame anybody. Our lives is on the stake, so that is what we are concerned with. We are concerned with our members are dying. Our members are dying, and we are not here to blame anybody. All the stakeholders involved should be up and doing to make sure this doesn't happen again. Because I can be here today, I'm not sure of my tomorrow if these things keep happening. Because it's hard to even get money to go out there to get yourself dialyzed. So Korle Bu is currently charging the least. So that's where most of the poor or the most vulnerable people rely on for dialysis. So if this keep happening, then it means you are just indirectly writing us off, or it's more like a death sentence onto us. So they might as well come out and sentence us to death, then we know we are ready for that, than for this to keep reoccurring as if nothing can be done about it. I think it's management issues to some large extent.
So with this, we go for a short commercial break. Welcome back to Say It Loud on GhanaWeb TV. So we continue our conversation with the dialysis patient from the dialysis center of the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. So Deborah, have you heard any information from the authorities of the hospital on when the consumables will come into the country?
From the first statement they released, I read in there that they are hoping to clear the consumables over the past weekend. So hopefully this week, operations will resume early week.
So no timelines for
No timelines. They just said this week, early this week. So we are looking forward to that.
Raphael, okay. So do you have any expectation from the government on this?
A lot. I expect the government to do something about it. And even the cost of the dialysis, if government will even take half and we also pay half, or take all, because sometimes if they increase the price, or right now they shut down the unit, and maybe Raphael wants to go to private hospital to go and dialyze, the one who has been helping you to give you the money to go for dialysis at Korle Bu, you can't go back to him or her to say, oh, I'm going to private hospital, so the money is not up to. You see, so we suffered a lot.
Okay, so Michael.
So we expect government to come to our aid and help us.
Okay. So Michael, we know that the treatment is very expensive, and how have you been coping with it?
Coping I'll say we have been managing it. Mostly we depend on people, friends, families, institutions, anyone who can help. Because it's not easy raising the amount in a week to dialyze. So mostly the support has been coming in from friends and family. And like you were saying about the government, we really need the government to get involved in the treatment of dialysis patients, both at Korle Bu and even at the private, to get involved in the pricing of the services. Okay. It's too much a burden on us. Those supporting us even complain sometimes when you try calling them, they see your phone calls, they avoid it because they know you're coming to them. So we really need government to get involved in the pricing, even with the establishment of the private facilities. If the government can even regulate it for us and certify it for us, we'll be happy and get involved with the pricing. We really need help.
Okay. So Deborah, I know you're a leader of the patients. How often do you get donor support. And I'm sure you've been trying to get support to help those who are vulnerable. Do you get any help from?
As a group or as individuals?
As a group, as a group.
As a group.
And even at the individual level, you can add that.
As a group, these days, the first time the unit was shut down, we were privileged to have a few groups and institutions coming in to donate towards, because we had some media presence, and that stirred up the sympathy of the general public, and some groups came in to donate. Recently, we would like to take the opportunity to also acknowledge Nana Namwa, who used their birthday to solicit some funds for us as patients. And we are looking forward to getting more of such donations.
Okay, so Raphael, right? Okay, so how do you get any support from your family members, your relations? How do you pay the treatment personally?
My mom, she has been there for me 10 years now on dialysis. She supports me, and because of a chronic, they are supposed to get dialysis 3 times a week, but she supports me 1 a week. So I normally go on dialysis once a week. And sometimes when you come to my room, and it's not easy. Sometimes I can't sleep. I always sleep on my stomach on the stuffing chair to the daybreak, or I'll go out and walk. Sometimes when I'm walking, maybe you think there's something wrong with my mind, but it's not that. I want to be free. So that was of my Augustina Yossi. She was the one helping me a week for 10 years now.
Okay. So, Michael, GhanaWeb is spearheading a campaign for organ donation for people with more functioning body parts to get the needed help. What do you think of it? Is this something you call for?
Yes, I will call for it, and I really support it. We really need it in the sense that it's not easy taking this dialysis service. It really costs a lot. So we're encouraging not only GhanaWeb, but we also encourage the government to get involved to help us pass this organ transplantation program, support it and promote it for us. Because we hear in other jurisdictions that's the best way to try and solve this kidney problems and other organ failures.
Organ donation is more of a long-term solution.
Yeah.
And if it's passed, it will help a lot. Aside from that, are there any solutions you think the government can bring in, or individuals can bring in, to make life easier for renal patients?
With the government, I think one key thing the government can do to make our lives much easier and the long term prolong our lives is to implement cuts and taxes. The consumables, all the consumables, not even most, all the consumables we use are all imported. So if there will be some tax alleviations on those consumables, I'm sure it will bring down the cost of dialysis. And also, like the National Health Insurance Scheme too, it's supposed that the offer they've come up with, we are pleading that they do more for us, because most of the people are outside the brackets of the free dialysis. If they can make it all inclusive, because most of the patients, the majority of the patients fall beyond the age brackets of below 18 and above 60. So if they can make it all inclusive, so that all of us can enjoy some benefits on the scheme, would appreciate.
Okay. So I just want you to briefly describe the treatment you need and some of the items you need. I know you have something fixed in your hand. If you can describe it very briefly.
Yeah, Dialysis process may sound complex, but it's not all that complex. It's the dialysis machine is performing the functions of the kidneys because most of us patients, our kidneys are not functioning properly. And as you are aware, our kidneys run 24/7. But in place of we cannot be on the machine 24/7. So it is recommended that we go on the machine 3 times in a week as chronic kidney patients. And all the 3 times we need a maximum of 4 hours on the machine. Each session lasts for 4 hours. And then on that machine, what they do is they connect. We have an access point that we use on our hands called the fistula. So we use that. You could see a lot of bumps on some of our hands here. We use that. They connect two needles to our hands, the machines. One is an inlet, one is an outlet. So they pull out our blood from our system. It goes through the machine. The machine clears it, removes impurities, excess water, and all the waste products from the blood, and it returns it to our body. So the process continues like that for 4 hours. It will be in circulation. Because as humans, if they take all our blood out to go work on it, we cannot leave. So it's a process. So as it's going in, it's coming out. If it's going out, it's coming in. So it circulates like that for good 4 hours, and you get your clearance.
Okay, so Raph, aside the dialysis treatment, do you require additional treatment from aside your dialysis condition, cleaning your blood and that? Do you need more stuff?
No,
Do you suffer from any other conditions due to your kidney not functioning properly?
Yes, because over 10 years now, I don't urinate. Yes.
Oh.
I don't urinate. Sometimes you feel like you want to, but the urine will not come. And you feel pain in your penis. So it's not easy. And you can't even drink a lot of water too. The only water you can take from the whole day is 5 milligrams of water. A day.
Like the small bottle, like this is recommended the whole day.
The whole day.
So whatever you take, if you take soup, you have to factor it into it.
Not just water,
if you drink
liquid,
tea,
liquid.
So it's not just water.
Not just
Every
water.
fluid you take in a day should be 500 ml, this quantity in a day. So we are limited, and this scorching sun and all that, you are thirsty, you cannot drink.
Aside that, your body will be pushing you to take a lot of water. So you have to manage yourself. So it's not easy. Like the way we are saying, maybe someone will be thinking that it's easy. It's not easy. You can't urinate and you can't do anything. Even if you are working, how will you manage to go to work? Because today you are okay, the next day you are down. So it's not easy.
Okay. So Michael, how's the journey been for you since your kidney failed?
It's very difficult, very difficult, very, very difficult. Because it happened 8 years ago, in I think 2017, when I was working. It came in as a headache. I started taking some painkillers. One day I went to work. I was in France, so I was told to rush. I rushed to the hospital and I was diagnosed and admitted. It's not been easy because since then I had to resign. I tried working with it for some time, for 4 years back. It wasn't like once it's today you be okay, tomorrow you'll be down. So you had to resign, and I had to come home. And financing this dialysis treatment for the past, I think, 4 or 5 years has not been easy. It's been very difficult. Aside the kidney itself, there's a hypertension also disturbing me. But that was the cause of it. I never knew I was hypertensive. So it's not been easy.
Yeah, so what work were you doing before your kidney failed?
I was working with an insurance company. That's it.
For me, it's bad. This thing affects your entire life. I lost my job because of the condition, and it's not every company, especially those of us who are in the private sector, who can accommodate our weaknesses, for lack of a better word, because you need to visit the hospital often. With this dialysis, then at least 3 times or 2 times in a week you need to be at the hospital for your dialysis. So it's not all companies that are accommodative with the condition, and I have to painfully lose my job because of that. I'm also a single mother of 2, and when this condition started, my boys were really young. It was really hard. At a point, I had to let them go for someone else to take care of them because I couldn't just help myself, let alone to help my little son. So it's a big challenge. It's something that brings your whole life to a standstill. And sometimes not just you, but the media people around you. It affects your family as well. We have some of our members, it has even affected their marriages and their love life and all that. It's sad. We wouldn't wish this condition even for our worst enemy.
Okay, and Raf, what about you? What work were you doing before your kidney failed?
Oh, I was a footballer. Yeah, so I got it when I was.
Was that at a professional level?
No.
Okay.
But I have a lot of friends who are playing at that professional levels. Yeah, I got it when I was in SHS. Yeah. So when we go to training, and I don't even sweat. I don't sweat, and I've got tired easily. So my colleagues we used to fight because they know how I used to play. And when we go to dormitory, around 12, I'm done. I won't sleep. I have to go and walk and get a place where the place is cool. Then I can even get a rest, then go back to sleep. So I use that. I don't know anything about at that. I don't know anything about kidney. So I used that to complete SHS, and again when I started having some feelings, and my right hand was getting swelling. So I went to the hospital, and the doctor said, no, I don't have a blood. So I have to rush to another hospital to get the blood. When I got there, I got blind 1 week. I couldn't see anything. And the doctor said, I have a kidney. So that's how I got it. I don't know whether I have high blood pressure, but I don't know anything, what causes the kidney. But it's not been easy at all. It's not been easy.
And thank you for sharing your story with us. So Deborah, before we conclude, do you have any final message to the government?
Like I said earlier, we are pleading with the government to come to our aid. Not just the government, to any corporate institution, individuals, the churches, the mosques, the traditional groups, anybody at all. There's no amount too small to support a kidney patient. I want them to know that any cedi you donate towards helping a kidney treatment, you are not just making any donations, but you are helping prolong someone's life. And that would greatly be rewarded by God. We ask government to also cut down the taxes on medical consumables, not just dialysis consumables. I believe other units, chronic condition units also having the same problem. So government should probably take off taxes from medical consumables, and the processing at the ports, GRA and all those things. When it has to do with medical consumables, I think they should make the processes simpler to avoid such delay as we are having currently. That has led to the shutdown of the renal unit. And so that's it. The scheme too should expand. The National Health Insurance Scheme should expand to accommodate all of us, to help us.
Of your last words?
My last word I would say is having a kidney disease is not easy. At first they said if you have like maybe 80 years, 90 years, you get kidney. Well, right now, even a 5 years old also get a kidney. So we are pleading to the public to come to our aid and help us, because sorry to use this, but even an HIV person is more important to those who are having kidney disease seriously. So we are pleading to the public to come to our aid and help us.
Okay, my help, your final words.
Also the same thing, we are pleading with the public, general public, the government, corporate institutions, and any individual who is touched by hearing our plea, the kidney issues, to support us. We'll be happy even if the government cannot make it free, but through the NHIS they could subsidize it for us to bring it down. That is, with those doing dialysis, we'll be happy with it. That's it. We can also encourage the public to also listen to the medical professionals. These days, what's going on is serious with the kidney issues. Whatever they are seeing, what you need to avoid, you need to avoid them. So that's what I'll say.
There should be more education going on to the public, because I'm sure some of us, it took us by surprise, but and there are lots of people out there, you can be with a condition and you wouldn't even know you have it. So it gets to the last stage that you can't take it anymore. So there should be more public sensitization. People should have periodic checkups, and people should listen to the doctor's advice. Like he said, we should avoid a lot of concussions and avoid a lot of painkillers unnecessarily. And we should watch our BPs and our diets and all that to go a long way to help us prevent having kidney diseases.
Thanks so much for answering.
Thank you too.
So with this, we wrap up this edition of Say It Loud on GhanaWeb TV. We pray that the government will listen to the plea of all renal patients in the country and come to their aid, give them the necessary support. We also pray that our push for legislation for organ donation will be heard by the government. Keep watching GhanaWeb TV.